Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. Hope you guys have been having an awesome weekend here. Hopefully you guys have been preparing somewhat for the markets next week. As you guys know, on November 8th, Tuesday, will be the U.S. presidential election between Hillary Clinton, Donald J. Trump. As you guys know, a lot of volatility in the markets over the last couple of weeks or so. The VIX volatility index had risen 40% over the last 2 weeks, and another interesting thing was the S&P 500 sliding for 9 consecutive days, ending in the red. Haven't seen that since 1980, so 36 years ago, that we had the S&P 500 sliding for 9 consecutive days. Luckily, the markets only dropped down a few percentage points, but still a lot of interesting things happening in the market. The 9-day S&P 500 slide, the VIX volatility index really peaking, highest it's peaked for like 9 or 10 years, if I remember correctly. So a lot of things happening in the markets. Hopefully you guys are prepared. I'm ready to jump in and buy some stocks on Monday if the opportunity presents itself. Not sure if there's going to be any trading Tuesday. My Android calendar hasn't marked it as a holiday, but definitely Monday. Hopefully you guys are prepared for what's going to be happening. I'd kind of like to switch gears now, talk about another type of investing application for the iOS and Android smartphones, the Stash Invest. I have the welcome screen up here. It's similar to Robinhood. You can buy and sell ETFs. So it's similar to Robinhood in that you can buy and sell ETFs. So, as you know, Robinhood really has few restrictions on what ETFs and stocks you can buy. Stash Invest, a little bit different. It's only offering 30 or so ETFs, one stock, I believe, Berkshire Hathaway. Beyond that, there's really not much more you can do with this particular app. What's nice about this app versus Robinhood is that you can invest in fractional shares of a lot of these ETFs. So on Robinhood, where you would have to, for example, buy a full ETF, if it was a $100 ETF, you'd have to, save up $100 before you bought that. Stash Invest, kind of nice. You can simply save up $5, and if you have $5, you can buy a fractional share of that ETF. So kind of cool in that regard, but very limited. Setting it up is essentially like Robinhood. You create a profile. It does ask you for a few questions to sort of personalize your experience. Really what these questions are about is trying to identify if you're a conservative investor, you don't want a lot of risk, or if you're a more aggressive investor and you have very high risk tolerance. And it really selects a few apps for you, or at least recommends a few apps for you based on your responses to those questions. Setting your account up otherwise, essentially identical to Robinhood. You got to put in your bank account information. You do have to verify your identity. It does ask for your social security number, your address, telephone number. These are all things that any investment app requires. And then really after that, you can start investing. As far as investment, so this is kind of the welcome page here. I just set up my account here. Kind of goes over balance. Haven't put anything into my account so far. It has a cool little calculator here. You can kind of put in, how much you're going to invest, how much you're going to contribute monthly, what your percentage rate will be, and then it'll calculate over the 1, 5, and 10-year time spans how much you can expect to be in your account. Other than that, let's kind of take a look at what ETFs they offer. So like I said, it's really a limited application. You can only buy and sell 30 ETFs or so. And what they really do is just take an underlying security. For example, let's do this clean and green option here. So these aren't really ETFs that are made by the Stash Invest folks. You can see on the bottom there the underlying security. If we click on that question mark, you can see here that essentially the Stash Invest people are essentially just buying and selling this ETF on your behalf. So these aren't ETFs that are made or put together by Stash Invest themselves. They're simply ETFs that have been selected and then rebranded a different name, essentially. Do the right thing, essentially, again, a different name for an underlying security there. You can see the iShares, MSCI, USA, ESG, Select Fund. There's a couple different categories here. Here's the aggressive mix here, recommended. You can see this is, again, just an underlying ETF here, the iShares Core Growth Allocation ETF. I believe there is one stock on here. Let's see if I can find that. Here the IF. Blue chip stocks. Again, this is just based on an ETF, Vanguard Medicap ETF. I think there's one called Buffett Mix or something similar to that. I think a Roll with Buffett. Here we go. So this is the only stock you can buy. The Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated Class B stock here. Again, you buy fractional shares. You don't have to save up, the 250,000 or how much that stock is worth these days and buy that. The only thing I don't like about this particular app is that it does charge you a fee. So Robinhood, as you guys know, no commission trading. There's no monthly fee. But with this particular application, it charges you $1 per month, which doesn't seem a lot, but essentially it's charging you to buy fractional shares of ETFs that you can buy in Robinhood. And a lot of these shares are, $30, $40 ETFs. So I'd rather just go ahead and save up that money and open a Robinhood account and do the trading there. But again, if folks don't have a lot of capital, I guess this might be a good initial strategy to kind of participate in the markets, buy fractional shares of ETFs. I don't particularly like that, but if you don't have a lot of capital, maybe this is an okay option. Then it says that if you have over $5,000 in your account, then it starts charging 0.25% of your account, which is essentially about $12.50 per 5,000. So if you had that much money in your account, I would definitely get out of this particular app. I would buy ETFs on Robinhood. You can buy, like I said, these identical ETFs on Robinhood. Like this iShares US Aerospace and Defense ETF. You can buy this on Robinhood. And you can get a little bit more sophisticated and start buying the individual stocks contained within some of these ETFs, like I'm doing. So I think it's okay for the new investor who has limited capital, but beyond that, I think this app is, in my opinion, a little bit silly. It's essentially just ETFs. It's kind of nice you can buy fractional shares, but once you start getting $1,000, $2,000 in your portfolio, you can easily buy and sell these ETFs without a problem. Save the Roll with Buffett here, the Berkshire Hathaway stock that literally is valued at 200 and some $1,000. All these other ETFs are definitely within the range of a portfolio with investment of $1,000 to $5,000. So yeah, what do you guys think of this particular app? It's interesting. I kind of like the idea of being able to invest in fractional shares, but beyond that, I don't see a lot of utility in using this particular application. Yeah, you can buy and sell $5 fractional shares of these ETFs, but it's very limited. Like I said, there's only 30 or so ETFs. There's one stock you can buy. Beyond that, there's nothing you can really do with this application, and it charges you a fee per month. And if you do have a significant amount in your portfolio, then it starts charging 0.25% of your account balance. So I don't know. What do you guys think of this particular app? I think it's kind of silly. I think it's okay for the new investor to kind of play around with this for a few months. I think the first few months, 3 months, it's free to use, but then after that, like I said, it charges you $1 a month, and then 0.25% of your account balance over 5,000. So interesting application. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this. I kind of set it up just to kind of take a look at it. I might put in like $5 or so and kind of play around with it, but yeah, not a great application when you have Robinhood. Robinhood, you essentially have many more ETFs, many more stocks. It's essentially an unlimited amount of ETFs and stocks you can buy in Robinhood. Yeah, they do restrict a few, but for the most part, you can buy any stock or ETF in Robinhood that you can buy on E-Trade or any of the other online brokerage accounts. So yeah, give me your opinion on what you think Stash Invest would be good for. Are you guys on Stash Invest? Excuse me. Do you think this is a worthwhile application? I personally don't. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to talk about this investment app today. As always, if you enjoy my videos, feel free to share, like, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I'm all about learning. I'm a neophyte investor. Haven't been investing in individual securities for that long, maybe 3 or 4 months. Like I said, I started on Robinhood, and now I'm kind of venturing out and kind of looking at other products out there, Stash Invest being one of those. So yeah, let me know what you think of this. So with that, I'll see you guys next video.